Jake did not blow out his candles. He sat there in the quiet and scrolled through his phone instead. A college friend just bought a house. Another one posted a screenshot of his investment portfolio hitting 6 figures. Jake put his phone face down on the table and stared at the ceiling. I am 31 years old, $12,000 in debt, $2,000 in savings, no investments, no retirement account, nothing. He had read all the articles. He knew what they said. Start investing at 22. Time in the market beats timing the market. If you didn't start early, you already lost. Every one of those articles made him feel like a failure. But here's what every one of those articles got wrong. Starting at 31 is not the same game as starting at 32. The rules are different. The tools are different. And the outcome, if Jake moves right now, is not failure. By age 38, something happens to Jake's money that almost nobody talks about. A mathematical shift that changes everything. We'll get there, but first, let's look at the honest cost of what Jake lost, and why it's not as fatal as he thinks. The cost of the lost decade. Tom is the fictional model citizen. He started at 22, $500 a month into a broad market index fund, earning 8% annually. By the time Tom turns 31, he's contributed $54,000 of his own money. But compound interest has been working quietly the entire time. Tom's actual account balance is over $78,000. That is the gap Jake is staring at on his birthday. Not just zero, negative $10,000 because of the debt. It feels like standing at the bottom of a cliff watching someone else already halfway up. But here's the part the gap does not show you. When Tom was 22, he earned $35,000 a year. Saving $500 a month meant giving up almost 17% of everything he made. He lived with roommates. He skipped trips. One bad month could have ended the whole thing. Jake is 31. He earns $85,000 a year. He has spent a decade learning his craft, surviving office politics, and earning real leverage. That same $500 monthly savings goal is less than 7% of his income. Jake has a bigger engine. He just hasn't turned it on yet. His college roommate called that same week. Just closed on a 3-bedroom house. Jake said congratulations and meant it. Then, he sat in his car in a parking lot for 10 minutes before driving home. That was the moment he decided to stop watching and start moving. The mistake most late starters make is playing the same slow game Tom played. If Jake saves $500 a month, he will always trail Tom. You cannot close a time gap using the same speed. Jake needs velocity. Behavior beats perfect timing. That is not motivation. That is math. A focused late starter with urgency and a higher income can compress a decade of progress into 4 or 5 years. The first year is the hardest, not because of the numbers, because of what it requires emotionally. Year 1, the debt year, age 31 to 32. Jake does not open a brokerage account on his 32nd birthday. Not yet. He has $12,000 on a credit card charging 22% interest. That is not a small number. That is a hole in the floor of his financial life. Every month he delays, that hole gets wider. There is no investment in the world that reliably returns 22%. So every dollar Jake throws at that debt is mathematically identical to earning a guaranteed 22% return. Killing the debt first is not conservative, it is aggressive. Jake sits down and does the actual math on his life. After taxes, he takes home roughly $5,000 a month. He goes through every single expense, subscriptions he forgot he had, food delivery habits that add up to $300 a month, a gym membership he hasn't used since winter. He cuts hard. He locks his overhead at $3,500 a month. That gives him $1,500 of surplus every single month. He had $12,000 in debt and a $2,000 emergency fund. He kept that $2,000 untouched. That was his floor. Everything else is charged at the debt. Month 0, debt at $12,000, cash at $2,000, net worth negative $10,000. Month 4, debt dropped to $6,000, cash is still $2,000, net worth negative $4,000. Month 8, debt gone completely, cash at $2,000, net worth positive $2,000. Month 12, still no debt, cash grew to $8,000, net worth $8,000. Month 8, Jake is 31 and a half. His manager offered him a company dinner that Friday. Nice restaurant. The team was celebrating a big quarter. Jake went, ordered water and the cheapest thing on the menu. Nobody noticed. He noticed. He drove home and checked his debt balance. $2,300 left. He transferred everything in his checking account above his floor. Gone by morning. He logs into his credit card app one final time and sees a 0 balance. He sits with that for a minute. No celebration dinner. No new purchase. He just breathes. For the remaining 4 months of the year, he keeps his lifestyle exactly the same. The $1,500 surplus keeps moving, this time into savings. By his 32nd birthday, he has $8,000 in cash and not a single dollar of consumer debt. His net worth moved from negative $10,000 to positive $8,000 in 12 months. This is where most people stumble. The debt is gone, the pressure is off, and the brain whispers, "You deserve a reward, a newer car, a nicer apartment, a trip." If Jake listens, he falls directly into future A. Instead, he takes everything he learned in year 1 and points it at something new, something that will start working for him instead of against him. The velocity years, age 32 to 35. Jake is 32, stable, debt-free, $8,000 as a buffer. He opens an investment account. He does not pick individual stocks. He does not buy anything speculative. He buys the entire market, a simple index fund that tracks the broad economy. When the market grows, he grows with it. He automates $1,500 a month before he can touch it. $18,000 a year going into the engine. Age 33, he deposited $18,000. With growth, the total hit $18,700. Age 34, he deposited $36,000. The total climbed to $38,900. A milestone badge flashes, $25,000 wealth crossed. Age 35, he deposited $54,000. The total reached $60,700. $60,000. 4 years earlier, he had stared at a negative bank balance on his birthday. Now he was building real wealth. His company announced layoffs that autumn. 12 people on his floor. Jake sat in the all-hands meeting and felt something he hadn't expected. Not panic. Calm. For the first time in his adult life, he realized losing his job wouldn't immediately destroy him. He had a buffer. He had time. He had options. The layoffs didn't touch him, but the feeling stayed. That's what $60,000 actually buys you. It's not a number. It's a different nervous system response to bad news. Vanguard's retirement research consistently shows that the average American in their mid-30s has dramatically less saved than this. Jake, the man who felt like a failure on his 31st birthday, has crossed the statistical average for his entire age group. He's not catching up. He is ahead. But the account still feels like manual labor. He put in $54,000 and made about $6,000 from the market. He's still doing most of the work himself. That changes between 35 and 40. What happened during those 5 years is the reason we built to this point. The invisible engine. Age 35 to 40. Jake's career has compounded too. He is no longer entry level. He manages a team now. His income rises from $85,000 to $100,000 a year. He does not upgrade his apartment. He does not buy a new car. His neighbor pulled into the complex in a new SUV that same month. Lease. Jake knew because they talked about it by the mailbox. The payments were $680 a month. Jake looked at his own car, 6 years old, a small dent on the rear bumper, and felt nothing except grateful. That $680 a month, invested instead, would be worth over $58,000 in 5 years at 8%. His neighbor was driving that money down the road every morning. He increases his monthly contribution from $1,500 to $2,000 instead. $24,000 a year flowing into the engine. Age 36, total value $89,000. Age 37, total value $120,000. Age 38, total value $154,000. Age 39, total value $191,000. Age 40, total value $231,000. Jake's father called around that time, 71 years old, still working part-time at a hardware store. Not because he wanted to, because he had to. Jake didn't say much, just listened. When he hung up, he opened his investment app. $231,000. He wasn't done, but he wasn't in his father's situation either. That mattered more than the number. This is the inflection point, the one we promised at the beginning. At 40, Jake's portfolio generates over $18,000 annually from market growth alone. That is nearly as much as his entire annual contribution was when he started at 32. He has stopped pushing the car up the hill. The car has crested the top. The engine is running, and it is pulling him forward on its own. Fidelity's retirement benchmark says you should have 3 times your salary saved by age 40. At $100,000 per year, that target is $300,000. Jake is at $231,000, behind the benchmark, but not by much, and dramatically ahead of the national average. More importantly, he is moving in the right direction, with real momentum behind him. Now let's look at the version of Jake who did nothing. The split at 45 tells you everything. 2 futures at age 45. Future A, the cost of waiting. Jake on the left turned 31, felt overwhelmed, and did nothing. He kept the credit card debt, paid minimums. The interest kept compounding against him. For 14 years, he traded his future security for the comfort of not having to change. He is 45 now. He has less than $5,000 saved. His knees hurt. His industry is shifting. He wakes up every Monday morning and feels the weight of knowing that retirement is not a possibility. It is a distant fantasy. He works because he has to. He has no other choice. Future B, the secure professional. Jake on the right followed the system. In the 5 years from 40 to 45, he maintained his $24,000 annual contribution. $435,000. He's not a millionaire. He knows that. He's not retired. He's not on a beach somewhere. But here is what he is. Free from panic. His company restructured at 44. His role was eliminated. They gave him 90 days notice and a modest severance. 2 years earlier, that would have been a crisis, a desperate scramble. Whatever job appears next, take it. Instead, Jake took 3 weeks, talked to people he actually respected, found a role that paid more and suited him better. He negotiated from a position of patience, not fear. Nobody gives you that. You build it. Dollar by dollar, month by month, starting before you're ready. If his company downsizes, he does not have to take whatever job appears next out of desperation. He can breathe. He can choose. He has options that future A Jake will never have. And if he never adds another dollar from age 45 to 60, that $435,000 compounds into over $1.3 million on its own. He repaired his entire lost decade in less than 15 years. The real mistake. Starting at 31 is not a financial death sentence. It is an invitation. A late invitation, yeah, but an invitation to play a focused, high-leverage game with a bigger income, sharper priorities, and the urgency that 22-year-olds rarely have. The math does not care how you feel about being behind. The math only cares what you do starting today. Fidelity, Vanguard, the Federal Reserve, and the data all point to the same thing. The average person your age has less than you think. The bar is lower than you believe, and the window is longer than the pessimists claim. The biggest financial mistake is not starting at 31. It is sitting at the same kitchen table at 41, looking at the same phone, and wishing you had started 10 years ago. Take the next step. Jake's system worked because he cleared the debt before building. If you want the exact breakdown of how to eliminate a large credit card balance on a regular income without completely dismantling your life, watch the guide on the left.